Live from the podcast rooms in Glasgow, it's all about the Gers with Ricki Neill, Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller.
Hello and welcome to the All About Gers podcast. Myself, Ricki Neill, joined with Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Park Construction and Plant Hire, DB Dental Care, Plugged In Business Solutions, Lounge 72 and SSAFA, who is the Soldiers, Sailors and Airmen's Families Association charity. How you doing, guys?
All right, Ricky, how are we? A wee bit, aye. Had a good weekend.
Aye.
Too good a weekend, aye. Would it be better earlier the night, you know?
Well, Charlie's training was off tonight, so we thought we'd come in early and have a nice wee early. In fact, we've already got 15 people watching us, so that's all right.
Aye, because that not put them out of sync. I'm out of
It
sync.
did. I'm well out of sync, but I'm kind of a wee bit delicate enough. It was my Christmas night out in Newcastle on Saturday, so aye, that's a bit of a session. Start drinking at 9 o'clock, and
It's not good for you. I'm getting too old for this game.
aye.
Aye. Sometimes you feel that on a Monday, don't you? You go for one high and then boom, you can crashing down.
Monday's horrible.
I know. But at least we got a wee result of the weekend there.
Needed,
Yep.
much needed.
You know, so anyway, Derek, you've got like, I don't know how to pronounce this name. Is it Ninka Olivadari or Olivadari?
She's in love with Derek.
She's in love with Derek, big time loving in this chat. Look at all these messages. I don't know if you're on YouTube, you'll see all the Ninkas. I don't know if that's your name. I think it's Ninka.
Don't know.
Anyway.
You've always got to be careful, haven't you, how you pronounce
Aye, I know.
certain names and that. So
But no, she's a lot of loving for you. I think she's the best thing in Scottish football.
No, no, the way I'm feeling now. Well, thank you very much, but that's very nice.
But
Charlie will keep me right in the night, so he will.
I'll do the sniper McNaught says, are you Derek's agent by any chance? Anyway, listen, before we get into talk about football, we're just obviously there's transfer rumours already starting, and this came from another podcast, but they're kind of saying it's not gospel, but they're basically saying Yilmaz, Dessers and Dills have allegedly been told to find another club in January.
I'm actually no surprised in terms of Yilmaz, certainly Dow as well. Charlie was just telling us. I thought the boy was still injured. We've not seen him, so I think the manager has already been in. He's had a good look at the squad, and that's what he needs to do. There needs to be a change. It's clear to see. So these guys obviously they're not going to figure in the manager's plans, and it's better for everybody because the boys at the end of the day, you need to play football, and these guys, certainly Yilmaz, young guy, he's come in. It was for me again. It's all about opinions. I just don't think physically he was going to be like Clement's kind of type of player. You can tell that Clement being a centre half and all that, and you know, I think we need a real physicality. Decent going forward, but I don't think the boy offers is that. And some of the games that he did play, I think actually teams targeted him. You know, certainly with boys in that area, high boys. So he struggled a wee bit. Dessers as well. I don't know about you, Charlie. It's sometimes you kind of feel sorry for him because you see what you get. He's trying. He's heart out, but it's just not quite happened. And again, but hooked. But it's after an hour yesterday.
Yep.
He was. So it's been a bit of a struggle for him. So it has.
It's a shame for him because he's trying his heart out. It really is, but it's not working for him at all. Obviously done well for the first goal yesterday, which was good to see. But he's just it doesn't know when to pull the trigger to shoot or when at the right time or whatever.
It just seems to be the very last bit. He's not getting in it.
It's a shame, but I think you have to move on. You can see that. I'm surprised Lammers isn't in there as well, but
do you know something? I don't know who I was speaking to about this, but they were saying that the manager obviously looks at training and the way the guys perform. I'm trying to think what I was talking about because I tell you what, he must be a hell of a good in training games because you know the manager seems to like Lammers.
Nah.
I mean, I don't know, we probably spoke about that in this kind of podcast, but sometimes you get guys that are fantastic in training, but when you're judged playing in front of 50,000, can you take the heat? Can you handle the pressure? And I just don't think he handles it very well. So it's a totally different thing, training and then playing in the big games.
Especially at Ibrox, especially when things aren't gone well as we hoped. Obviously, Thursday night was a horrible result, and Aberdeen wasn't a great result, although we were happy to get the point and end up with obtaining that at 90 minutes. But Thursday night was terrible. It wasn't great at all. But obviously, these guys, I think there'll be a few more leaving as well. I don't think it'll just be referee, but there's guys who are on the plane, who are on the squad, who might want away as well. Like say your Sterlings and things like that.
Cifuentes as well. I mean, Cifuentes, I don't think he's...
No, he looks as if he's still in LA, I think.
Aye.
He thinks he's in the beach in LA.
Such a disappointment, wasn't it, Thursday night?
Thursday night was a big blow up.
I think everybody concerned, not just the players. I think even the manager was at fault. You know, you kind of had me kind of scratching my head after the game. You know, even some of the comments that came out, even the team that he put. You know, I just think the game was crying out for young McCausland to start that game, but putting Cantwell in that area didn't suit him. You know,
putting Cantwell into his position yesterday was a totally
big difference.
That's the thing. I was saying that all season. Cantwell needs to play where he can, where he's best, and that's where his best position is. And it showed yesterday. 2 assists done really well. Was running about all around the pitch, trying to create all the time, and McCausland did well again. But Thursday was taking Cantwell off after 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It bewildered me, although Cantwell did get the ball away for the goal, but he's the one that could create something for us and get us that goal back, or as you seen yesterday. But Lammers had to come off, or Cifuentes, one of them had to come off, and Lawrence had to come on as well and get into the middle of the park. And the three, Lundstrom, Cantwell, and Lawrence could change positions with each other. But it was awful Wednesday. It was Thursday. It was disappointing. The first goal, one boy at the top.
See,
Caught out for that, but they guys are flying machines, man.
And I did see they've got a bit of pace and a bit of power up top. But I tell you what, see, he's a midfielder. I don't know about you, Charlie, but I can't well loses the ball. But he's still 35 yards for goal. It's the boy that plays the ball over the top. I think he takes about 4 touches before he plays that ball, and I'm screaming, somebody get to him, because sometimes players make mistakes. He loses the ball. It's clear to see, but then you're looking for your teammates to react to that situation. And when the guy, I'm sure he had about 4 touches before he plays. Of course, by the way, we should defend that better. But I'm still looking at my midfield players or my teammates to help me out in that situation. I thought we were very slow to react.
I felt sorry for Lundstrom because Lundstrom was playing the midfield himself practically. Right. Mm-hmm. He was trying to cover every bit of ground. Cifuentes was miles off it, miles off it. Every time he get the ball, 10 minutes to just play about and then pass the ball. And he was the worst player on the pitch for me, I thought.
See the thing with Cantwell getting taken off so early. I think it was about 4 or 5 times he had the ball. He was taking far too many touches, trying to do too much. And
but he keeps on going inside. He's going inside. But he plays. That's where he's playing. If you're a centre of the park, you know it's like, Derek. Mm-hmm. When you're centre of the park, you don't want to be wide because in the centre of the park, you've got more a chance of being on the ball. If you're a wide man, you need people to get the ball to you. In the centre of the park, you can go and win tackles. You can win tackles out wide, obviously, but you're more involved in the game in the centre of the park. And that's where Cantwell is a much better player, as we've seen yesterday. And it was good to see him because I was worried. I thought maybe Cantwell might be one of the 3 on that list that might be leaving in January.
It's about, and even when you play in a wide area, you've got to have a certain amount of discipline within your game. I think Cantwell is at his best when he's allowed to go and roam, and play that number 10, a wee bit of freedom with him. So it was a position, clear to see. It was ailing to him. He wasn't enjoying it. And you just see what happens yesterday. You put him in his natural position. You take the reins off him. You let him go and play. And he produces. That's what he's all about. But I just thought it was the wrong choice. Team selection. I thought right away, I'm like that. And yeah, Lammers, Lammers is not having a good time. That's what I'm saying. So put Cantwell in there. I think most of the Rangers supporters out there would probably agree on that. So young McCausland, he's been excellent. I think even when the manager said after the game, he says he's been played. He's played 3-4 games, and how can you not trust him? Put him in, and look what happens when you do play him for the start. He's capable, very capable. But we needed somebody that's naturally.
He's got to go down for this penalty. It's a penalty if it goes down.
But that's just been a young boy. That comes with experience.
That's for the other week, the Livingston game.
Yeah. So
he's too honest this time, and I think he's thinking about if I go down here.
As soon as he feels that contact, and I mean, you were listening to Coyce. Coyce didn't want to say it, but you go down. There's contact in the box. You go to ground and you win yourself a penalty. We get the result we all desired. So, but it was just such a disappointing performance. Even the way we started, even touching on Coyce actually says in commentary that we started well. Well, we
No, I
didn't.
didn't
I
think we
don't
did.
think we started well. He did say that. I thought we started poorly. And by the way, it's about getting off in the front foot. And that's the onus is on the players. If the players start quick, you see them pressure, their shots at goals, the crowd reacts, the crowd gets everybody up.
It was totally
was
opposite
quite,
for the Sparta Prague game.
It's going to be players.
Total opposite.
I think the majority of Rangers fans thought that was going to be an easy win
I did. I
because
thought
they
it
were
was-
terrible when we played against them and they beat us.
I thought it would have been an easy win, but technically these teams are always good. They've got players or in Europe and technically very good football players, but we've got to put that to bed because now we're having to go to Betis on a Thursday night before the cup final and try and win.
Right.
The press. Their press was poor, but that's what actually the manager said. He says, "Yeah, I'm sure he said this. I think he says that the press was pretty good. I didn't think so. I think it was half-hearted. See, when you go, one goes, it's a trigger. Everybody should go.
I
just think it was about 60-70%.
I don't think Cifuentes getting near a player.
Charlie, I know he's way off it. But you need triggers in the game, and players react to each other. And I just think as a collective, I thought they were so poor, so lacklustre. But again, same with the manager as well. I thought he'd got it wrong.
Well, here's Andrew McLeod saying 100% Cifuentes and Lammers miles off on Thursday. I don't know one supporter that agreed with taking Cantwell off. I think the gaffer had a decent start, but that was a head scratcher. I have to admit, I think we should have took Cantwell off. And it was just because he was constantly taking far too many touches and he wasn't.
But I think if you just take off Lammers and then move your better player into his better position, it's an easy decision. If he's got to take Cantwell off, there could have been 4 or 5 others he could have taken off at that point. But for me, it had to be Lammers coming off and Cifuentes at the same bloody time and put in Cantwell in the centre and Lawrence.
See, the way I seen it was Clement was actually trying to prove a point, make a statement to him, you know.
But sometimes it's not right to make him. It's a wrong decision to make a statement because you're probably your most gifted player, especially in the attacking area. You're taking them off just to annoy the fans because it was a strange decision. He wasn't doing great. He wasn't having a great game, but neither was Lammers or Cifuentes either.
And I tell you what, I've tipped my cap to Cantwell because I thought his reaction was first class. Because he could have spat the dummy out, you know, he didn't. He took it in the chin and he walked out. I mean, you've seen players, man, and because there is a sense of embarrassment, isn't there, when you're took off in the first half. So put yourself in his shoes, how he must have felt, you know, inside. But I thought it was great because I looked at him, I thought, oh, don't react, and he didn't. You know, he took it.
He did kick a chair.
But that was in the dugout. I expect that. Nobody wants to come off. But I tell you what. He could have spat the dummy out in the park and, you know, the hands go up and all that. But I thought, and that's in respect to the rest of the players. So he took it on the chin. I thought his reaction was actually pretty good. I expect that in the dugout, you know, because once you think the cameras have panned away, so you can let out a wee bit of frustration. But it's always, that's embarrassing. I'd done that one time as a manager when I was at Stranraer. I took a player off after 20 minutes and I had to because it was absolutely... It was woeful, but I hated doing it. Because I know how the boy was going to feel, but he was just having one of their days. The one thing you can't, Cantwell, I think Cantwell's our best player, but the one thing about Cantwell, and to a certain degree Lammers, who has been so poor, you can see the fight in him. You can see that he gives it everything, and he wasn't playing well. But I totally agree with what Charlie says. I think Lammers should have been took out of the equation.
But sometimes. See, if you're a fullback or something like that, and the winger's battering you. Sometimes you just have to change things after 20 minutes. That wasn't this. Like that guy was very quick against Barisic. He gave Barisic 3 yards or something like that, and was past him within.
So what do you think is going to happen in January then? Because I don't know how long Barisic is going to be here, and then if Yilmaz goes as well.
But by the way, and we've spoken about on here. Listen, these guys are in good contracts, so it's easier said than done. You know, to get them out the door. There's got to be teams out there that clearly want them.
Wonder if Alaves would take Dessers and Lammers and Gers back Hadji.
Well, he should be coming back in January anyway.
You would think he would be back, wouldn't
you? I'd be interested to know what contracts are on in terms of is it a 2 or 3 year? Because that's what Yilmaz has been in the door, a season or two. So I'd imagine this day and age they're at least signing 3-4 year contracts, and they'll be in good money, that's for sure. So unless somebody comes in and they can move somewhere that's going to entice him. A lot of players will just they'll just sit tight.
Here's
For Alex,
Alex Kelly. He's saying Clement had every right to take Cantwell off. If you don't play under instruction to the manager, then you don't deserve to play.
See, I understand what Alex says, 100%, but Clement's got to play Cantwell where he's good, where his best position is. That's the thing, but everybody sees it. And saying he's defying his orders, he's obviously, I think he was gone too early to go to the fullback and the ball was getting passed through him, which is kind of schoolboy error for Cantwell. But you can see he's desperate to get involved in the game. He's desperate to be the trigger point to go and attack. But Clement wanted him to sit back a bit and no press, you know what I mean? But it's just Cantwell shouldn't be in that position, and everybody knows it.
Totally agree with you.
100%.
And it just shows you how good he was at the weekend because he was in the right position. You know what I mean?
That's it, and let him free, let him get involved in the game. I just think you're curtailed a little bit. So maybe there's another appreciation, because when you see boys that they play in a wide area, you know that they have got the discipline. Seema, he scores his goals, but you look at was it Aaron Prague, where he was virtually defending for most of the game, but he was so disciplined in that role. So, I mean, it's there's certain players that just flourish in certain areas, and that wasn't it. It's clear to see, it's clear as day, man. He shouldn't have been playing in that position. McCausland, he should have been playing there every day of the week.
Charlie, how good was it to see young McCausland score as well?
Oh, brilliant for him. He's deserved it, because I think he managed to score the second as well, though. But he was unlucky, to be fair, but he's got to get done for the penalty. But it's great to see him score, because he scored a great goal against Livingston when nothing up there. But aye, proud for the wee man, and obviously want to see young boys break through. We always want to see that. So if they're good enough, then get them in. If you have to give them a chance to see if they're ready. You know, so get them in 100%, because there's no use having, if you've got a centre midfield player like Bailey Rice, I'd rather see him come in and progress and take out Cifuentes, because it's not happening. It isn't happening.
Do you know one player that I really liked, and he's not seen a starter again? Big Leon King. I thought he was brilliant in defence. I mean,
well, it was a hard season for him last year. It was a big step up for him playing against the Champions League games, and it was we taken a batter, and not just him, but a lot of the team with the results. But I think taking him out a wee bit, but they could have played him. They could have played him in the centre of the park. Supposedly done well for Scotland the other week there as well, because he's comfortable on the ball. He'll get about the pitch. So
see all the young boys in that B team. They must be champing at the bit, because there you go. McCausland, he's been given his opportunity, and by God, as he took it. So sometimes you need to put a wee bit more trust in the young boys. Give them that opportunity. What Charlie's saying, because there you go. And I totally agree with Charlie there. We've spent a few bob and a few players, and sometimes, you know, it's there, it's sitting right there in front of you, and give them the opportunity. Let them give them a run of games. Let us see what they're all about, because that's why they're at Rangers. That's why they're saying, because they're all good players. But the other side of it is, can they handle the pressure? Lammers isn't handling the pressure. You can see that. It's clear to see. So I think guys like McCausland, he handles it. He handles that. He's got a great mentality, and I'm sure some of the other younger boys have got that same mentality.
We divine. I think he's a good player.
It's easier for the Scottish ones to handle the pressure, because they're brought up with it really, and well, not easier, but we understand it more, what it's like to play and being at games, or being a 15-year-old boy coming through the ranks. You've been at games, you know what the fans demand, you know what the manager demands, you know what the club expects. So, but it's been disappointing for Lammers. It really has been, in Dessers as well. It's been hard for him, even though the guy does work his arse off. It's been difficult for him. Butland has probably been only shining light, and then McCausland coming in has been like a new signing, which is great. So, we get a few more bodies back, and because I can't believe I didn't even put Roof on the other night. I don't know what the situation is here.
I know. I've been screaming for him to come on.
But then he would have been out for another 6 months or so.
But anyway, listen, it's still all he could play for. Obviously, we're away to Betis. How would you approach that game, Charlie?
They just have to be hard to beat anyway. We have to be hard to beat. We have to be defensively sound. I think we'll go 4-5-1 probably. But we have to be defensively sound, because they're technically very good, and they're mid-table, I think, in the Spanish league. So they're a very, very good team, but we can beat them. I don't see why not. But we need all our big players firing, and we need a bit of luck, and we need a good game for Butland. We
need Limassol to win or not.
I tell you what, I get slaughtered for this, because I've got my mind on that the final. Honestly, You know,
Dublin.
we listen. We should have took care of Aris Limassol, and we'd have been in a position, you know, to protect some of the players, like the guys, because, and the manager has been saying it. The squad is stretched. For me, I think listen, we're guaranteed European football, whether it's going to be in the conference or the Europa, who knows? But I've got one eye on that game. Do you know that? On Sunday, because I'm desperate to win that. Get a bit of silverware, kick on. So maybe it's a game. I mean, they're a quality side. Betis will be capable. Even with the fringe players, some of the younger guys, would I give them an opportunity? I would, but I'll get shot down in flames for probably saying that. Because players want to play in the big games. It is a big game, of course, as against top quality opposition. I want that. I want that win in the Sunday.
The League Cup.
I want that in the. By the way, that's when I'm putting on my. I was going to say marbles. I don't know. I was going
eggs.
Eggs. Is it marbles, eggs? I don't know. I want to win that game so badly.
Especially after the other week. Right, I'm going to go and just go online now. So the stands of Ibrox is saying there should be a clear out, and it should have been done since 55. We've been suffering from the same player mentality for 5 seasons or more, and it's passing on to new players.
Aye, and by the way, it's a group of players that have been together for a long time, but it's easier said than done. But just what we're talking about earlier, these guys are in good money, they're in good contracts. Sometimes they've got a shelf life, and I think, my opinion, 1 or 2 are past their sell-by date. But it's trying to get them out the door. That's because there's a lot of kind of goings on behind the scenes. You know, you look for some payoffs as well, and you know, the guys have got families like anybody else, and I get they're in good money, but they're not just going to leave because we don't fancy them, because they don't think they're good enough. They're in good contracts.
Do you know what the worrying thing is, but because he's obviously talking about a lot of the older players like your Tavs and Golson, whereas Charlie, we brought in 9 players at the start of this season.
Yep. And how many are playing?
I mean, so it's...
How many are actually playing? But he's right there. But Derek's right as well. We get obviously Kent, McGregor, Arfield, who we could probably still keep, and Morelos and things like that. They'd all left. They'd run down their contracts. We've signed Tavlin another contract a couple of years ago. We signed Goldson beginning the last season, 4-year deals or whatever. I think they're good players. I think bringing in better players would have been stronger. Obviously, the players we've brought in are nowhere near good enough, I don't think, at the moment. And I don't think we get rid of Tav. I think Tav does amazing for us, and so does Goldson. But I still think Goldson maybe have come back a wee bit early, as he looked a bit leggy when he first came back in. But we can't just like so what happened with Morelos. We've got to have a strategy. We've got to sell players when we're getting proper financial money. Like so we got offered 15 million or whatever it was for Morelos. There's got to be a time you have to take that. No, you know, don't just keep them for the sake of keeping them. It's the same as Kent and the other guys, but it's a hard one but I think if we win the cup, then it might give the guys a lift again.
But the rumours have come back again about Kent, possibly come back to Rangers. Would you take him back, Derek?
No. I think, and the reason being, you look at his last 3 months. You know, was he playing for the jersey? Was he giving his all? I don't think so. He's a talented boy, that's for sure. But no, I think once that's gone for me. It's the same with Morelos as well. People used to put, would you keep Morelos? No, I think they've had their time. We thank them very much, you know. But
Derek was kind of saying the last 3 months for Kent. It was last 2 years for me, apart for the Dortmund game.
I think it was clear to see he down tools, by the way. I hate that because, and we're talking about it. You're on a contract. You're paid good money. As soon as you cross that white line, it's your job. Your job to give it everything. And he had down tools. Horrible to see that. So it is. So that's probably one of the reasons I wouldn't take him back. I know people go like that, oh, you shouldn't think like that, but it kind of, you know, it wasn't a good thing to see. Charlie's saying the last 2 years. I definitely thought it was the last 3 months. He was protecting himself. But listen, that's why you employ you. That's why we give you the good money, the good contract. For you to, when it comes to the game time, you give it your all. And he didn't.
Did that ever happen to any of you where you seen somebody in your team down tools? And how did you react to that person?
Not Rangers, but some of the other teams. I've seen that the boys are just towards the end of the season, didn't want to pick up an injury, going through the motions. Do you get after them? Of course you do. I was going to swear there. Of course you do, because that is your job until that contract's finished. It runs out. That's should be your mentality. You're not just doing it for yourself. You look around. I've said this hundreds of times when I'm sitting with boys. It's about the players in that dressing room. You know, you try to look after them. You give it your all. So you're cheating yourself. You don't do that. So, but aye,
Charlie.
I would bring Hadji back as well.
Aye, so lately, I'm just saying everyone on board with recalling Hadji in January.
Hadji's better than Lammers as well.
And would you expect Lundstrom to get an extension this season?
I think Lundstrom deserves one. I think he's done well.
Right.
And he's always fit. He plays every minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why not. I think Lundstrom deserves one. If he wants one, or if the club want to give him one, but I would definitely agree with that.
There's ready Teddy Bear saying maybe Kent down tools because you know how bad Beale was at Liverpool's youth squad.
I know, but you still want to play him, don't you?
Aye.
It's some job the manager's got into at the moment, you know, because of what Beale has done in terms of the signings. But they're not up to scratch. That's for sure. You know, and some of the comments that he made as well. I mean, Juventus, you know, he was going to take us to this another level. Charlie spoke about the young boy Bailey Rice. Is he a better option? Is he a better player? Can be a better player in the long run, of course. So sometimes we need to trust a wee bit more. The younger boys give them an opportunity, but I was like everybody else. But I think I was because Bill sold it to me. I believed in what he was saying, but I tell you what, it's left what an aftermath he's left, isn't it? So it's a tough job for a manager, but it's not going to happen overnight. But in the process of doing that, you know, we can still be really competitive in terms of, can we still win the league? Of course we can, but get this League Cup just to give us a bit of confidence, give a wee bit more belief.
I mean, Celtic aren't playing that good in it either.
I know. So, I think they're there for the taking. So,
but I don't think we're ready to take them with the squad we've got though.
No.
I don't think we're good unless we get everybody fit. If we've got our best team in the pitch, then we could beat them. I really do think we can. But we've got too many people who get injured and then for nowhere. And what happened to him? Oh, he had to stay on training. What the hell happened? Ryan Jack's away for 11, plays 11 minutes and comes back and he's not playing. Roof, you see him and then you don't see him. It's hide and seek with these guys, man.
Raskin as well. Raskin's
again.
His recovery's not gone well at all. You know, you heard the manager speaking about that. You know, so a real frustration. And Ryan Jack, we spoke about that. You know, goes away in international duty and then picks up an injury again.
So over the past few weeks, we always see the kind of same comments coming in, but it's always about like Rangers are missing like people that know about the club and they're missing Scottish players and things like that. Is there anybody in the SPFL or any Scottish players that you think can make it at Rangers?
Well, I think Shanklin is a good goal scorer, but I would have Shanklin before Dessers, no doubt about it. But is there many more there there's some good ones at Motherwell and things like that. But
the young boy's injured now. The boy Lennon Miller. I've watched the boy 3-4 times already this season. He's going to be a top player. He's got a great mentality, so he's a good athlete as well. Can play. So sometimes it's staring you right in the face, you know. But under Michael Beale says, I don't even look at the Scottish market. Yeah, I'm sure he came out and said that, which I thought was absolutely incredible, because Shanklin, I think he is a Rangers supporter as well. That's sometimes, and I think you get more out of players. See, when they've supported the club, it's maybe that wee 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever. You get more out of these guys that love. You know, playing for the Rangers, playing for the jersey. I know it's an old cliche, but there's something in that. It definitely is.
Right, get on to the Rangers and St Mirren game. 2-0. Decent game. I was actually travelling back up on the train for Newcastle, so I only seen bits of it on my phone. What was your thoughts on yesterday's game?
The game was okay. I thought Butland's had a great save at nothing each. Lundstrom gives the ball away. We mix up in the middle of the park. Great touch with Butland, but he's been a very, very good signing for us. And we always seem to have it off with goalies. We've been quite fortunate, but that's what Butland's job is, to save shots, and that's what he's there for. But obviously seen us scoring two good goals, 2 very good goals, and it was just good to get a result and get 3 points and get back and try it again. But it wasn't the greatest performance, but Campbell was good.
For what I've seen of Dessers, it's probably one of his better games as well.
Dessers did okay. I think he should have scored maybe 1 or 2 yesterday as well, but he's just, as I said earlier, he's not pulling the trigger at the right time, unfortunately. And
Are too slow at the traps for me at home. I mean, you've got to, as I was saying earlier, you know, you've got to give the fans something to shout about, get excited about, and it was a slow burner, wasn't it? So it's far too slow at the traps. I think, man, at home you start quick, fast, you know, and it's always, I mean, wave after a wave attack. That's the way it should be. But we're building our way into a game. I like to see it start a lot quicker.
It's part of Prague's been the best game all season for that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been up for the game right from the beginning, and the crowd get behind you. They see what happens with the crowd get behind you after 2 minutes because they're up for it. The players are up for it, and the atmosphere becomes electric. And it's amazing what a venue to play in when the fans are like that behind you. So,
and he picked the right team.
Well,
that's what we've been talking about it for a bit.
Campbell was still in the right enough, but Campbell, I think he realised now that Campbell's got to play in the centre.
And you see his ball, the way to pass, and to see, man. I tell you what, it was good movement as well. Great first touch and class finish. So as tell you what, we're talking about the players. I mean, he's not even our player. He's a lone player. He's been the one shining light for me.
Aye.
Well,
he does. He scored a few good goals, don't get me wrong, but he is a bit. Sometimes he's very similar to Sakala. But we were talking about it yesterday as well with my mates. We've got rid of Sakala, Kolak,
and replaced with.
I really don't understand it.
Not up to scratch.
What Bill was thinking about, because Sakala's not a saviour. Don't get me wrong. Sakala was something to work with. Eric, I think he would have got better, but I don't know what Bill was thinking about. I really don't know what Bill was thinking about.
And it's easier said than done because that's the Mirren side. Without the ball, they're pretty good. So they're very well organised. So, I mean, that's me maybe just being greedy and wanting to start quicker. You know, get edge ahead in the game early doors. It kind of just settles everything. I mean, the goal came at the perfect time because you go in half time, nothing each. By the way, it's a totally different team talk, isn't it? Even you look at the opposition, so they've got something to hang on to. But no, it was so important that we edged ahead, you know, in that first half. So that's what it's like. It's like it's if that group of players need that. They need that confidence. But that's everything that goes with being a Rangers player. You've got to have that mentality. When it's not gone for you, you've still got to show. You've got to be brave, puff the old chest out, and you know keep receiving the ball. But they kept at it, so they did.
But maybe if we win the cup, then it'll give them all a boost, and they'll see what it's like to win some silverware as well.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I can't.
We need to win the cup.
Aye, I mean I'm putting all my marbles, all my eggs in one basket. I want that game big time.
100%. And I agree with Derek. I know we're still in Europe anyway. You're still rather in the Europa League than the Europa Conference. But for me, the cup is more important than that game against Betis. 100% for me, it is definitely.
Andrew McLeod saying, how much did Ross Wilson leaving affect the new signings?
Well, his signing is one of the best either, were they? So, no, having somebody there who's organised and knows the transfer market and who knows he's been watching players, and I don't think Bill had maybe watched so many players or whatever, but I think it'll probably affected it a little bit because it ended up maybe too much for Bill, but he said he would make it work. And
what's happened with Bomber, by the way? Is he back doing the scouting?
Ambassador now.
Is he?
Ambassador role.
So who's doing the scouting? They were only picking 3, weren't they, or something?
Scouts, I don't know who's doing it.
It's going to be different now. The way they're looking
at all the data
and all that sort of stuff. So
see, you can't do things with that. See, watching players on computer, you need to go and actually see them in the flesh. You actually need to see them, and then you might actually see somebody else and go, by the way, he's a good one. That's what you do. I
think that's the kind of the modern way, innit? You know, they'll look at the data, then if the stats are good, then they'll go and watch the player. But it's everything. You need to speak to them as well. You need to find out what they're like as people. You know, with the light in the dressing room as well.
Well, Bill said he done that. I don't think he done it very well. I think they were just compulsively lying to him.
There's Alex Kelly saying we have a club wage bill of 64 million and won practically nothing in recent years. 2 trophies in 8 years at Build managed to make our squad worse.
That was impossible as well. That could be possible.
Thing is, he kind of, everybody thought what he was doing was brilliant.
Because before, these 2 in January were brilliant signings, Raskin and Cantwell. And before, okay, let us. But he had too much the run of it, but it looks like things. I think he had the whole run of the whole thing. I think he thought he was maybe a bit bigger than, but he was.
Rangers and Hearts away on Wednesday night. It's a tough game.
Always a tough game going to Tynecastle.
A great atmosphere up there.
It is under the lights as well. It's and the atmosphere will be brilliant. So it will. So again, the big games they keep coming. So we've got to produce, haven't we? We've got to keep on their tails. Just keep that momentum up, build the confidence. But I tell you what, that's easier said than done going there. I mean, even when I went to Hearts and I played against Rangers, you know, even in that dressing room, the Hearts boys, they were well up for it. So it's a toughie, but that's what you want as well. Right. You want the tough games. You look forward to that, and I hope the players think that way, because I think you, as a player, when you went to places like Tynecastle, night time game, I always enjoyed that.
Great atmosphere.
And I actually enjoyed playing with Hearts as well. I know we're on a Rangers podcast, but I enjoyed the night time games.
It's the same songs, isn't it?
Well, but the thing, see at Tynecastle, because it's a great atmosphere on a Wednesday night, maybe a rainy Wednesday night, the ball will be moving, sharpish, players will be tackles in. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a good game, definitely. But a difficult game. But we've done it better the last few times and kind of give them a bit of hiding.
We need to be better defensively, that's for sure. You know, Butland is a few holes. So, I mean, you get up against Shankland and boys. I don't think they're the greatest in the middle of the park. I think that's where they lack a wee bit of Hearts. But with they 2 boys, and thank God Lowry's not going to be playing anyway. So, so that'd be interesting to see if we can get him back in January. I don't know if that can happen, but no, we've got to be better defensively, because they pose a threat. A wee bit of power in terms of boys, power and pace. And Shankland's a clever player, so he links the game really well. And if he gets a wee sniff, he can certainly finish. So he can. Yep. So good player.
Difficult game, but I'm sure we can get a result.
Get a result. There's Alex Kelly just talking about you're going to Coops Bar and Hamilton on Friday, Derek, to open it up.
I think it's on the 16th or something.
Is it?
Aye. I'm sure it is.
15th.
You better get it checked in.
I'm not big Stan, but big pal, Stan Gordon. He's
good. I need to pop in and see it.
I think they get their licence, so I think it's the 16th.
Is it? Maybe it's been
December.
delayed.
I'm not sure.
Saturday,
I'll check that. That's a Saturday.
Aye. Get it checked anyway.
And the reason I know that is because I'm off to Bologna on the 17th. So I'm
Cup final.
Aye.
That's right.
I'm heading there. I've already had that book, so I'll be travelling over with my good lady. Looking forward to that.
What are you up to this weekend, Charlie? Are you getting any gigs?
Nothing, no, nothing, no.
You know, get us a gig, no.
I'm out with my mate Soonest and he and Gerard Friday, so
that's right.
So there's a few tickets left for that, but that's in Camelin Miners Social Club.
Gerard will be fine fun.
I know. Do you know the guy phoned me today and he was like, "How do you want to do it? Do you want to have them on separately?" And I was like, "No, you need to put the pair of them on together."
Aye. I think because obviously Gerard will tell a few stories quite funny as well.
So. I want to hear the story about when he gets hooked. I've only ever heard it from Gerard's side.
Aye, well, by the way, and it is the truth. That's the truth. See the way he tells it. That's certainly what happened. So I was there because I belted the ball as soon as he done that to him, which no the wisest thing to do.
And then ran
to your gut. I never ran. You kidding me on? we were all daft back then. By the way, we didn't. But that's what I'm saying. See, when it was like games, training, you're all in. You know, so it got a bit feisty. Of course it did.
Always at
but Vigilante always had that. He was always had an answer. Aye. So he did. So that got a wee bit heated. Walter was the one that kind of tried to calm it all down, which was unusual because that's one guy you wouldn't want to mess with. You mess with Soonest, of course you would. You mess with Walter Smith, No, you kidding? You daft?
Aye.
Aye. What were there no lumps at you? So you would have.
Anyway, right, we'll do quick predictions then. It's only Hearts and Rangers, isn't it?
Aye. And it's a big game under the lights, and it's a toughie.
3-1
but
Rangers.
Aye, and it's a.
Aye.
I'll. Do you know something? I'll take 1-0.
I'm going to go
Right now.
3-0 Rangers.
3-0.
Aye, go 3-0.
Yeah, more scores this 3 goals.
Aye.
Right.
Butland will not let any in.
Aye, he's top man, isn't he?
Yes.
Good lad.
Yeah, he's done well.
I think he's going to be my player of the season, by the way, so far.
Aye, so far,
Aye.
definitely.
Anyway, I'm afraid that's
That,
end of the show.
that was a Einstein there, huh? What the hell? It's the only one that's been playing.
I know. Anyway, that's it. End of the podcast. Just want to say a big thank you once again to all our sponsors: Park Construction and Plant Hire, DB Dental Care, Plugged In Business Solutions, Lounge 72, and SSAFA, who are the Soldiers, Sailors, and Airmen's Families Association. You can get them all on our website, which is allaboutthegers.co.uk. And did you say you're here next week, or you're not here next week?
Yes, yeah.
I'm away in the 17th. That's a Sunday.
Right, so you'll still be
So-
here next week. So we'll see you all
Yep.
next week.
See
All right,
you
take
guys.
care. See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.